Hello YouTubers, I am Hillary Mulick, a wedding photographer and educator based here in North Carolina, and this week I have a really special episode for you guys. I am turning 30 this week. This week is my birthday week. I love my birthday. I consider it the best holiday of the year. I love it because I could do whatever I want on my birthday. I celebrate however I want. It's just the best day ever. So in honor of my birthday week, I wanted to do a personal YouTube video today, just answering a bunch of random questions that you guys had for me on Instagram. So I've put together 10 questions to answer that you guys asked me on Instagram that I'm going to answer today on my YouTube channel. So here goes. All right, first question. Where do you shop for your clothes? I shop for my clothes in a bunch of different places. I follow a lot of influencers on Instagram that I really love, and I just think that they have really good quality clothing. So I will buy a lot of clothing that they link on their Instagram accounts. So these are places like Madewell and Abercrombie and Fitch. I'll go to American Eagle sometimes. I like their jeans. Oh, I've been shopping at Target recently. I haven't really shopped at Target since I was in high school when they had the Mamaso, you know that like Target line that they had forever ago, like 15 years ago? Well, I've went to Target recently and I was surprised by all the amazing, like good quality clothes that they have now, like their universal thread line. They just have so many good clothes. So I've been buying clothes from there. And then I'll also buy clothes at like Marshalls and TJ Maxx. I love shopping at boutiques. So a lot of online boutiques that I shop at are Ruley, Piper and Scoot. Yeah, those are just generally where I like to buy my clothes. This shirt that I'm wearing, I got from Marshalls a couple weeks ago. So I just shop at a whole slew of places. I'll link all these things down in the description below for you guys as well. All right, follow-up question. Where do you shop for your decor? Thank you so much for liking my home decor. It's honestly kind of the same thing as my clothes. I shop at some name brand places. I'll get some things at Target. I'll get some little things at like Home Goods. I love Home Goods so much. TJ Maxx. I like getting signature pieces I'll have like one really nice signature piece in each room of my house that I'll get at a really good name brand store like Crate and Barrel or Pottery Barn or West Elm or something like that. But I don't like to get everything name brand because I don't want it to start looking like that. I have a very eclectic style. Is that the right word? Where it's just kind of a mix of everything. I love incorporating vintage pieces as well. I'll not frequently, but a few times a year I'll go to antique shows or just different local antique shops and I'll pick up a piece of furniture for a spot that I'm looking to fill in my house. So that's kind of how I approach clothes and how I approach home decor as well. And I'll link to some blog posts in the description of different rooms in my house that I've blogged that I've recently renovated, and it has all of the things linked in there of just things that I've bought for those specific rooms. So make sure to check that out. Next question. How long did it take you to feel confident that you can make your photography business work? I shared this in a previous YouTube video about just how I got started in wedding photography and the transition from starting into wedding photography, learning wedding photography, and then transitioning into full-time. And I'll link that video down below. As far as how long it took me to start feeling confident enough in my business that it would work, it was really based on the numbers. It was a numbers game, and especially being married to someone who's very practical, realistic, analytical, I would not have had his full support to go full-time with my business unless I had the numbers to back it up. So in 2016, when I was wanting to make that transition from working at the school district to doing my wedding photography business full-time, it got to the point where the numbers said that I was making just as much in my photography business as I was at the school district. So in order to scale my photography business to what it now is today, I needed to choose one or the other, and it got to a point where I was making enough money where I didn't need the school district job anymore. So that was how I transitioned into being a wedding photographer full-time and how I really felt confident in it. As far as feeling confident in my craft, it really just is doing a lot of soul searching for yourself. And I've struggled a lot with imposter syndrome of, oh, I'm shooting these really great weddings, but I don't know if my skill is really good enough, and just feeling like I'm not good enough for the work that I was getting. And it's just a lot of soul searching within yourself to tell yourself, yeah, I've earned this. I've worked really hard. I've done a lot of legwork and I've educated myself. I've done a lot of second shooting. And that's what made me feel confident to move forward with my wedding photography business, is to recognize that stuff and telling myself that, yes, I am awesome at what I do and my clients are really happy. And that was what it took for me to feel confident in my business. Hope that answers the question. Next question. How do you handle hard things in business? So when I think about hard things, I think about, something didn't go the way I wanted it to go, maybe an unhappy client. Those are things that I would consider hard in business. And how did I handle those? I think the biggest thing is when something really hard happens, to just take a step back. Don't throw yourself into that hard thing and try and solving it right away. Let's say, for example, that a client is unhappy with you. Right away, when you get that email, you're gonna be a whole mess of emotions. You're gonna be upset, confused. Those are not the emotions, and that's not the headspace you want to have when you are approaching these hard things and trying to solve them. So the biggest thing to do when these hard things come up, take a step back, take a breath. Don't address that stuff immediately. Give yourself a few hours or even a day if you can, depending on how immediate the hard thing is, and let yourself really think about it. I also have a close group of photography friends who, when something hard is going on in my business, I will contact them and I'll ask them if they've gone through the same thing or what they recommend. And they really help me to understand what is going on. They will validate me as well and say, oh yeah, I've been there. That is really hard. All the emotions you're feeling are completely normal. And then they say, and this is how I would recommend you handling that. So I'll talk to people in the wedding photography business, and then I'll also talk to just close friends and family of mine. I'll talk to my husband, I'll talk to my mom, and I'll say, okay, as someone who's not part of the wedding photography world, if you were in this situation, how would you handle it? What would you think would be best? Because those people are maybe not gonna take the photographer's side of things. They're gonna take the client side of things, and they're gonna say, okay, if I was your client, this is how I would be feeling. So this is maybe how you should address this situation within your business. So that's how I would recommend handling hard things that come up in your business, and how I've handled them in the past. Next question. How do you connect with your clients? I think this could be a very broad question, but the thing that is coming to my mind is during consultations, when I haven't met these clients before and I'm trying to connect with them in a very real way, so that when we do start talking about photography stuff, we have that good foundation of something we've been able to connect on. So I do most of my consultations over the phone, and I have a Word document in front of me as I am in the middle of my phone conversation, and it has some questions listed out, some personal questions in order to get the conversation going, so that I can find common ground with them when I am doing a consultation. So I'll talk to them about, what are some things that you guys like to do together? Do you have any animals? What are some things you like to do together at home? What are some things you like to do together when you're with your families? I'll ask questions like that so that I can try and find some common ground and really connect with them. So if they say, oh, we just love playing board games together, I'll say, oh my gosh, me too. Like, me and my husband do that all the time. Like, these are our favorite board games. What board games do you guys like to play? I'll use those like foundational questions that I have in my Word document as segues into getting more personal with them and learning more about them on a more personal level, so that I can connect with them better. So that way, when we start talking about wedding photography stuff, I have that foundation and things that we can talk about and refer back to, and they get to know me a little bit more as a person as well. And I think when people are hiring me as a business, they're not only hiring me to be their photographer, but they really love my brand, and they really love what I stand for as well, and they love me as a person. And that's what I really try hard to portray online on my social media. I try to be really real and really genuine, so that they know exactly who they're getting when they hire me for their wedding day or hire me for their family session or whatever. So that's kind of how I connect with my clients, if that answers your question. Next question, what is your workout routine? I have tried lots of different things, but I'll just tell you what I'm currently doing and what I'm currently loving. So I bought a subscription to an app called V-Shred. I'll put the link for it in the description, but I really love it. It's with this guy named Vince, and he has 90 days of at-home workouts and 90 days of gym workouts, which is super awesome because there are days when I don't really want to go to the gym, but I want a really good workout, and he has great at-home workouts where you literally don't need any equipment. And then there are days when I go to the gym and he has great gym workouts, and they're in a calendar format. So I started off doing the 90 days at-home workouts, and this is when our gym was closed. I started this app in August of 2020 when my gym was still closed, and it was really awesome. I love workouts that are under 30 minutes where I feel like I'm getting a really good workout, but not like sweating to death or super exhausted and can't do the rest of my tasks throughout the day. So I've been really loving V-Shred lately, and generally I think I do best when I get up and I work out in the morning, just like first thing, so I don't have to worry about it again. My husband, he does his gym workouts after his work day, and he goes to the gym 3 days a week. So on those 3 days a week, if I don't feel like doing my at-home workout, I'll go to the gym with him that evening, and that'll kind of be like our time that we spend together, going to the gym together. So it really just depends on the day. Right now I'm really loving the V-Shred stuff because it's both at home and at the gym. And when I'm doing at-home stuff, I generally do that in the morning. When I'm doing gym stuff, I'll usually do that with my husband in the evenings on the 3 days a week that he goes to the gym. So that's my workout schedule. How did you get into modeling? So this is kind of a funny story. Backtrack to me being 16 years old. I was living in California. I was at Six Flags Magic Mountain in California with some friends, and someone approached me and they were like, "Hey, you're really pretty. Have you ever thought about modeling?" And then they handed me their business card and told me to contact them. And I was like, "Oh, that was really nice." But I also was like, was that a scam? You know, you just never really know when just like random people approach you. So I go home and I talked to my mom about it, and she's like, "Yeah, let's go check it out." So her and I drove to LA together. We got a meeting with this modeling management company, and they were the real deal. So we scheduled some headshots. I got some headshots when I was 16, and then I went on a few auditions. Nothing really came of it. I never got booked for any jobs because everything was in LA, and we lived about 2 hours from LA, and it just never really worked with my schedule. So nothing really ever came of it. Then I turned 18, moved to Utah for college, didn't really pursue modeling again. So then fast forward many years, moving here to North Carolina. I'm a wedding photographer. This was 2 years ago. I'm new to the area and I'm doing a styled shoot. I don't know anyone who's gonna model for it, but I hear of like modeling agencies here in North Carolina that other photographers will hire models from for their styled shoots. So I contacted this modeling agency that is locally to me, hiring a couple models of theirs for a styled shoot that I had. Now, after the styled shoot, you have to do your payment within 30 days of the shoot. And it was like right at the 30-day mark, and I realized I hadn't paid them yet and I didn't have enough time to send my payment in the mail. Their agency address was like 30 minutes from where I lived. So I thought, I'm just gonna take a check like straight to the agency and drop it off. So I go to their agency headquarters and I walk in. Everyone's really confused as to why I'm there because I'm sure they don't get anyone that like walks into the building. Everyone just like mails something. So I walk in, I'm like, "Hi, I'm looking for Brandon. I have this check to give them." And they're like, "Oh, okay, Brandon's over there." And they're all just looking at me very confused. And then I hand Brandon the check. Brandon's a girl, by the way. And I'm like, "Hey, Brandon, I'm Hillary Mulick. I hired a couple models for this shoot a month ago. You and I were conversing over email. Here's the payment for it." And she was like, "Oh, thanks." She says, I think we're all kind of confused as to why you're here because we thought you were a model, but you're not. You're a photographer. And I said, yeah, I'm a photographer. I hired some people here. And she was like, have you ever been interested in modeling? And I said, well, funny you should ask. I actually had a modeling agent when I was 16, but nothing ever came of it because I moved to college and just didn't do anything with it. And she says, oh, well, you know, where do you live? Are you local? What's your schedule during the week? Because a lot of the stuff that the agency gets hired for is like weekday stuff. And I said, oh, I'm local. I live 30 minutes away. I'm generally home during the week because I'm a wedding photographer and I only work on the weekends. And she's like, oh, this is perfect. She says, would you be interested in this? Can we get your measurements? So that's kind of how I got signed on with this agency. It was purely accidental. But it's been really great. There's so many things that models do that I had no idea that they do. Like I do lots of modeling that's not in front of the camera at all, which is really cool. I do a lot of fit modeling. So for example, I got a lot of fit modeling jobs where I'd go to the Hanes headquarters, you know, Hanes brand. I go to their headquarters and Hanes brand is in charge of lots of clothing lines like Champion from Target. They do clothing lines with like Urban Outfitters. So I would be the fit model that would try on these clothes and they would literally see how the clothes would fit on me. They'd like pin them in areas and cut some areas. Then they'd send the clothes back to their sewers to be sewn to, you know, correct dimensions. And then they would mass produce those products and then they'd end up in Target or they'd end up in Urban Outfitters or something. So that is a really cool part of my job. And then occasionally I'll be in front of the camera for something. So I've done shoots with a local company who makes scarves. And so I had really long hair at the time. And so I got hired to, you know, put these scarves in my hair and they would take my picture. And then most recently I wanted to be put up for more acting jobs. So I did an audition to be in a promo video for a local company who sells for your computer. And they really liked my audition tape. And so they hired me. So I got to go into a studio for a day and handle tech and they would film me. I didn't have any speaking parts, but I was an actor on the promotional video for a day. So that was really cool. Next question. There's only 3 questions left. Where do I print stuff? This is a great question, especially since I have this huge gallery wall behind me. If you've seen pictures of my office, I have a big gallery wall in my office. I print lots of our personal photos and wedding photos and I love hanging stuff. I like to print my personal photos through a company called MPix, MPIX.com. I'll link it in the description. I print all of our personal photos through there and then my photos for my clients. So what I do is I send them their online gallery and I actually have the MPix print store connected to their gallery so that they can order prints through MPix as well. But it's super easier for them because it's straight through their gallery, which is really great so that it kind of cuts out the middleman so they don't necessarily have to like download their photos and then upload them to an additional website and do all that. They can just order straight through their gallery. But I love MPix. I think they're really affordable and I print all my stuff through them. They're great. Question number 9. This is another clothing question. What outfits do you wear for work and what outfits do you wear at home? So I know a lot of people, they will, you know, when they're at home working, they're just like in sweatpants and jammies. And then when they're out working, like when they have to go out of their house, they dress in real clothes. I don't believe in that. I mean, of course, sweatpants and jammies are really comfy, but me mentally, I am not in a good mental headspace when I am in sweatpants and jammies all day working. I just feel like I'm not very productive. I feel really lazy. And so I love getting up in the morning, showering, putting on real clothes, even if I'm just gonna be staying at home all day. I love putting on real clothes because I just feel a lot more productive. And then if something spontaneous happens, like my husband comes home early from work and he's like, hey, let's go to lunch. I'm not like, oh shoot, I'm in my sweatpants. I'm like, oh, I'm already ready, let's go. So that's kind of how I do like outfits from work and home. I wear the same clothes. I love wearing jeans and t-shirts. I also really love wearing dresses. I think dresses are so comfortable. It's just one outfit put together. You don't have to worry about a top and a bottom. Most dresses are really cute. All of my clothes that I wear have really cute sleeves. I love like these cute flowy sleeves or cute bell sleeves. Those are just the clothes that I wear on an everyday basis. Last question. When I pulled you guys on Instagram and I said, what are some personal things you guys want to know about me? A lot of people just straight up said Boris. And I just took that as, you guys want to know all about Boris. So I'm gonna share with you about Boris. Hang on a second. Here's Mr. Boris. There he is. Like this is my filming setup and he's just been hanging out next to me. So I'll sit here with Boris and I'll talk about him. We got Boris as an 8-week-old puppy. He was 16 pounds. He was the biggest in his litter. He is a Dogue de Bordeaux, also known as a French Mastiff. So right now he is 140 pounds. He's turning 5 this year in 2021. He is just awesome. He is super laid back. He's the perfect dog for us. We researched a lot about breeds of dogs before we got one, and we just felt the Mastiff breed was the perfect fit for our family. I highly recommend that before you get a dog, you make sure you're getting a dog whose energy level fits your family. If you're getting like a mix or a mutt from the shelter, you don't have to worry about that as much, but if you're getting a specific breed, specific breeds have specific personalities and specific temperaments, specific energy levels, and you should get one that matches your family. I work a lot at home, so we wanted one that was not super high energy. He was just gonna chill with us at home, and that's exactly what Boris does. He's awesome. Like this whole time that I've been doing this YouTube video, he's just been sitting here in the corner next to my desk, which is really cute. He sleeps most of the day. We do take him on 2 walks a day, which he does not love. He doesn't love going on walks. If we take him in the car and we like go to the park or we go to like a sporting goods store or something, or we do something really fun, then he likes going. That's not really like a walk for him. But if we just go out right outside the door to go on a walk, he does not like that. But according to his physical therapist, and yes, Boris does have a physical therapist, she says that he needs to be going on 2 walks a day. He's such a big dog. He's a Mastiff, and Mastiffs, because they're so big, they have a history of joint problems at some point and, you know, just different things with their bones and their muscles. And so keeping him active and taking him on 2 walks a day just really helps him with that. So besides sleeping most of the day, he does go on 2 walks a day. He loves playing tennis ball in the yard. He eats quite a bit. So he eats a lot, but he's not a food-driven guy. Like some dogs are just super food-driven and they'll do whatever you want if food is involved. That is not Boris. He could probably care less about food most of the time. He does like certain kinds of food, like he likes shredded chicken and he likes carrots and noodles and things that are crunchy. He does like a lot of those things, but those are not really a drive for him. I will say a drive for him is tennis balls. He does really like tennis balls. So yeah, that's just a little bit about Boris and our life with him. He is so awesome. He likes to just sleep on the hard flooring. We have like a really nice, really expensive soft bed for him in our bedroom. He does not sleep on it. He gets hot really easy, and so he likes the cold floor. He loves the winter time because it's cold outside. He'd stay outside all day in the winter time, but we don't let him because he is an indoor dog. We love having him as an indoor dog. We believe that when you have an animal, they should be part of your family. And of course, this is different if you like are on a farm or something. But if you have a household pet, my own personal opinion is they should not be outside by themselves most of the day. They should be with you, part of your pack, part of your family, and that's what Boris is to us. That's a little bit about Boris, and those are my 10 questions. Thank you so much for joining me on this little bit of a unique YouTube video with the 10 personal questions, and I'm super excited to celebrate my 30th birthday this week. Hope you guys have an awesome week yourselves, and I will be back soon with another YouTube video. Bye, guys. Boris, say bye. Bye. Hi.